So in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to bring a show to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe.
There are lots of things to think about, so we're going to break it down a little bit. This session will be covering budget, finding a venue, registering your show with us, marketing your show, the legalities, and then planning for your time in Edinburgh.
But first things first, why? Why would you bring a show to the Edinburgh Fringe? It might sound obvious, but knowing your reason why is really crucial at this point in the process, because your why of bringing a show to the Fringe will influence all your decisions from this point forward. So your why might be that you're bringing a show just to test it out to different audiences.
Some people bring shows to use the Fringe as a springboard for their show and their career.
Some people might just be coming to the Fringe because it's part of their sort of bucket list. They've always wanted to do it. It really, really doesn't matter what your why is. It just matters that you know it at this stage, because it will really influence your planning and the decisions you make from this point on.
So the first thing to think about is the budget. You must understand your budget from the get-go, and I think always knowing what the red lines are, knowing exactly how much you have to work with. So it's about thinking, how much do you have already, or are you willing to put towards the show, but also how much do you need to raise or make from ticket sales. There's a few different projects and schemes that we'll have available that change a little bit each year, so any details will be in the description. But these will be projects like crowdfunding and raising those sort of funds for your show. We are often asked...
This is the biggest question we are asked.
How much does it cost? How much does it cost to bring a show? But it's kind of how long is a piece of string. It's very much to do with there's so many different factors to consider, and it's very dependent on each show and each person. So it kind of varies of how long is your show, for example, or if you live in Edinburgh, then you don't need to pay for accommodation as part of your budget. If there's a smaller team, it might cost less to have accommodation. So there's lots of different things that play into those different factors.
But we're always available to help speak to you about that and to chat through what those kind of options are and what might be applicable to your show. Yeah, so at this point, it's really good to map out what those potential costs might be, and these will differ for each company. So the common costs are on the screen now. There might be venue costs, cost of registration, accommodation and living costs, travel expenses, production, marketing, insurance, and then also importantly, a contingency. It's great to have that worked into your budget from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So let's take a moment for accommodation,
yes,
because accommodation can be one of your biggest costs in coming to the Fringe. We, at the Fringe Society, have a number of different resources to try and help you find accommodation, because it can be challenging. Things to consider though when you're looking at your accommodation: think about where it is, how far are you from your venue, are you going to need to take public transport, because then that'll implicate your costs as well, is it near any shops, that sort of thing. And our team are here on the ground in Edinburgh, so we can really help you figure out what those costs might be and help you figure out what location might be best for you.
We can give some great recommendations of nearby coffee spots as well.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, that kind of leads into basically do your research. It sounds obvious, but it's so useful. So Fringe costs will maybe different to normal when you're putting on your show elsewhere. Edinburgh is the capital city of Scotland, and so prices will differ slightly. They might fluctuate, especially during the Fringe month. So yeah, the description will have some handy links for you to help you kind of build that budget, and always just ask us questions if you're ever unsure.
Yeah. So the only rule, as it were, to participating in the Fringe is that you have to have a venue that is willing to host you. Finding your venue is a really important step in your planning process.
Yeah, so there will now be a map on the screen, which will kind of show you just how many spaces become venues for the Edinburgh Fringe. It's so exciting. No two venues are the same, and it's very much down to you to find the right one for your show. So it will fall to you to reach out to the venue. So that includes, it might be like an application process that they ask for. It might just be emailing a note of interest and asking more about how it works. Because each venue is very, very different. They all are set up in different ways, and yeah, the application process will be different as well. Some will be free Fringe venues, so you don't have to pay anything in order to put a show on there. Some will have an upfront fee to start with, or maybe a box office split. So again, this is why we always say, think about the budget, what works best for you, and have those conversations with the venue. this leads to kind of doing your own research.
Yeah.
So what is best for your show? Explore lots of different options. We always recommend chatting to like a handful of venues. Never feel like you just need to chat to one venue, because always good to see what the different options are for your show. And I guess always trust the programmer of the venue. They know their space the most. They know what suits their audiences that come into their venue. They'll be able to recommend the best time slot for your show. So do have lots of conversations, basically, and chat to us if you're ever unsure of anything.
Yeah, and a top tip for finding a venue is to check out previous Fringe programmes. You can find these all online, but look at what shows were similar to yours and what venues were they in. That is a great starting point for your research in finding a venue.
So once you're kind of happy with the venue setup, the next step will be signing a contract with them. It's important for us to say we are not involved in that specific moment. This is between you and the venue, but if you are ever unclear of how the sort of contract works, or if there's anything you're unsure of and need help with, we can be that impartial team and that guidance. So more than happy to chat to you.
And it's important to say, I think when it comes to booking a venue, don't make any assumptions.
Yeah.
Don't assume things. Make sure you actually have that conversation with the programmer. Look at your contract. What are you signing up for? Does it include a backstage space or does it not? Is it a storage area? You know, those sort of things that might seem, you know, straightforward and assumed in other environments. At the Fringe, because it's a lot of pop-up spaces, do like really check those, what's kind of involved and what you're signing up for.
There's no stupid question.
No stupid
They've
question.
had it all, and it's always better to ask at the beginning.
Yeah. So we have some great resources on our website to help you find a venue, because it is a lot to look through. Yeah. So we have the venue search tool where you can enter in sort of information about what it is you're looking for, maybe like the capacity of the venue, for example, and that'll help narrow down your search so that you're not searching through hundreds and hundreds of venues. You can just sort of narrow that search down from the beginning and find something that's suitable for you. Another top tip from us is we'd always suggest that you aim a little bit lower in terms of capacity to what you're used to. So if you're used to performing in a 100-seater, we'd recommend that you just go a little bit lower than that for the Fringe, particularly if it is your first time here. So if you would like to be officially part of the Fringe programme, you'll need to register your show with us. You might register the show or your venue might register it, so just make sure you clarify that with them when you're signing the contract. But yeah, Martha's going to chat us through a little bit about what that registration process involves.
Yes, so what does it mean when we say register your show? So that means that you will pay a fee to the Fringe Society, and that will depend on kind of how long your run is as well. It means that you will be listed, your show will be listed on the website and in the Fringe app. You'll be able to sell tickets through our central box office, which is where a lot of different Edinburgh Fringe audiences come to sort of find those tickets and browse through the different shows that are here. And you'll also get access to all of our wonderful resources that support you in bringing the show. So to register, it'll open at the beginning of each year. It tends to fall in January, but there will be dates, deadlines, and the fees in the description as well. And it's just important to say we have a registration team that's here to help with that whole process. So again, no stupid questions. If you're ever unsure of what your copy should be, get in touch with us. We can help with these things. If you have any access needs when you're registering your show as well, please always let us know so we can help.
They're a very friendly
Yes.
team. They're really nice. Just they pick up the phone to them and they will talk you through that process.
Yeah.
A top tip when registering is to really think about your show image that is going to be on your listing, as this will be what ends up being in the programme, the official Fringe programme. And knowing that sort of core image for your show now can really help you with your marketing, which is what we're going to go on and speak about. So yeah, once you've registered your show, you want to start thinking about marketing. How are you going to sell your tickets?
It's a fun bit, yeah.
Yeah, this is the bit where we can get really, really creative. So we'd always say start by thinking about who your target audience is, and how can you reach them both before the Fringe but also during the Fringe as well. There are so many different ways to market your show, but a few of the kind of common ways, or the sort of the usual ones that you'll hear about, are postering. There's flyering, which is a really big thing at the Edinburgh Fringe. You can do social media marketing. There's word of mouth. Maybe you want to try and get a review. Digital ads, like you name it, you can try it at the Edinburgh Fringe. We've got a whole session on marketing. You can get the video in the link. So we'll really go into depth about what those kind of different options are and how to navigate the marketing. But for now, at this part of the process, just think about what that show image is, as that will be really core to your marketing as you move forward.
And a top tip here is it is up to you to market your show. So think about this from the get-go. So the Fringe Society, we market the whole festival overall to kind of attract those audiences to come and see the work. But it will be up to you to independently market your show. Some venues as well might support you in this, so always good to check, have a little look in the contract as well when you're signing up with them. But yeah, see what your options are here.
So yeah, the Edinburgh Fringe is a competitive market. There are thousands of shows that come to the Fringe each year, which is what makes it a really unique and exciting environment to put your show on in. Don't worry about if your sort of ticket sales and if you're not selling out your show. It is completely normal not to sell out your show at the Fringe. Instead, we think you should approach it as an opportunity to learn more about your target audiences, to try out wonderful, wacky marketing techniques and just sort of use it as a space to learn more about your show, your target audience, and what works best in communicating with them.
Cool, so now on to the legal stuff. There's a few kind of admin tasks that you need to consider when you're planning for the festival. The first thing will be you will be required to get performer liability insurance. Also, if you're using any music in your show, you'll need music licensing. If you're an international performer, you might need to sort yourself out with a visa and an ETA.
Although saying that, the Edinburgh Fringe is a permit-free festival, which is great because it means you can come over and perform on a visitor's visa instead, which is really great.
If any of this feels new to you or you're unsure of, we have so much information on our website on this stuff, and also a team of people that can talk you through it, and we can kind of help identify what you need to do for your show specifically.
Yeah, just don't leave it to the last minute.
Yes.
Plan ahead.
You'll thank yourself.
Yeah, don't give yourself this last minute stress. Chat to us early on, understand what you need to do, and then it won't be a stress, it'll just be an easy part of the process.
Exactly.
Yeah, so finally, as Martha mentioned, there's lots and lots of admin tasks in this process of bringing a show to the Fringe. So much so that we sometimes find that artists tend to forget to plan for their time at the Fringe. So do take some time at the beginning here to think about how you want to spend your time in Edinburgh. You know, you'll have your show to put on, but really think about how you're going to spend your time. When are you going to take breaks? When are you going to have a bit of downtime? You know, you're in the capital city. Do you want to go and do some touristy things like check out what's on offer in Edinburgh or places that are nearby? One of the things we want to put on your list is to come and visit us at Fringe Central. This is our year-round home for Fringe participants. It's going to be on Infirmary Street, so you can find us there. During the Fringe, we're on hand just to chit-chat. Come and tell us about how your time's going.
You'll be sick of us at this point, but come and say hello. We're excited to chat to you, so please do.
We want to hear about your show and how it's all going. We've got free events that happen that are specifically for Fringe participants, so you can learn more about maybe the wider art sector or have opportunities to network and meet other people. We also have space for you just to come and tap out and relax at Fringe Central. So yeah, we want to put that on your radar. And yeah, also one of the most exciting things, you're at the biggest open access performing arts festival in the world. What shows are you going to go see? What artists do you want to try and meet? So, you know, take some time to look through the programme, see what catches your eye, see what shows, you want to kind of see and experience, because that is part of the benefit of being at this festival.
Cool, so that is it for how to bring a show to the Fringe.
So yeah, check out the description below for any links, resources, key dates to do with this year's Fringe. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on our YouTube channel to find more videos about bringing a show to the Fringe.
More of us. You're welcome.